Hello everyone, and welcome to today's stream. We will be doing some Transport Fever 2. I am currently fighting with Gamer Kitty as he is attempting to bite me something fierce. Hey Bulldog, how are you doing today? Great! It's great to hear that you got another stream going. My Thursday is going okay. I'm hoping that it looks up with today's stream. I always do enjoy some Transport Fever. Do you know anything about Transport Fever or the series? A little bit, but you may laugh. She was checking in on the stream, saw that I actually had people watching, and was a little less upset. Still upset, but not as bad. So thank you for that. So Transport Fever is a game about taking resources as a raw resource, taking it to a factory to be produced into a good, and then taking that good to a city. That's standard Transport Fever. I'm not going to say it's easy because I've had plenty of times when I first started where I was annihilated by it. Just, you know, it is how it is. Yeah, it's so much fun because the game runs as a timeline. So depending on how you have your settings set up, you don't get access to every train at all times. Or every every car, truck, boat, plane. You don't get access to those all the time. You get access to them when they're in in production. So like you can't get a we'll say the big boy, biggest steam train ever in the year 2030. It's not there anymore. It's out of production make. However, if you have one and you have it being kept in good condition, then you still have it. So again, like with Kerbal, I am playing with mods. I believe if you are starting out, you don't really need mods because the maps are a decent size on their own. What I did was so this isn't part of mods. The map generation that I'm using is, but the size I believe is unlocked in the beta settings. I'd have to look into it. If you Google it, it'll tell you how to unlock Megalomaniac maps, which are gigantic, which can be a lot of fun, but they are exceptionally challenging. So, it comes with the territory. Bigger space, more stuff to do. If you have more industry, it makes it easier. But if you have less industry, you now have a lot of space between your stuff that you have to basically fund the transportation between. And my favorite part about this is the Transport Fever 3 is coming out hopefully this year. Have to go back to normal time speed. like I said, I do have quite a few mods. That's why, like, I have trams that have cargo, because in the base game of Transport Fever 2, trams are only passenger. However, Transport Fever 3 and this with mods does give you access to it. I can tell you right now, with absolute certainty, Transport Fever 2, even without mods, an absolute joy to play. Especially when you start realizing that the towns grow on their own. So while, you know, I can come in here and set up transport lines and all that, as I bring stuff into the town, it can support more people. If it can support more people, well, now it's got to get bigger. And if it gets bigger, it needs more goods. And it basically is a cycle like that. There is a point where you're moving every good from every location. Like I said, I have not a mod for the size, but a like beta branch or a system setting checked in a, I believe it's in a file folder that's like an actual text document that you just edit from false to true for mega maps, and you get all this. And mind you, this is the least amount of towns, the least amount of industry you can get for this. Oh, and if you don't use industries, they do go out of business. It's a Megalomaniac mode, and it is one of my favorite modes, with or without mods, simply because it brings so much scale to everything, because it feels kind of boring, at least to me, when you've got this beautiful passenger line or tram line, and then it doesn't go anywhere. Whereas in Megalomaniac, you've got a whole bunch to play with. I think one of the mods I am using is I think it's called Fantasia map generation, and that's why it looks the way it looks. The map generation normally is pretty okay, but Fantasia gives you a lot more sliders to play with, a lot more tweaking you can do. Like the mail being a sortable resource is a mod. I believe it also has waste and waste management in that mod. I know it's around here somewhere. There's a trash can somewhere around here that you can take resources to, and it'll recycle things. Now, right now I have the speed set to relatively fast. I will be slowing it down in a little bit. I believe I said either 1875 or 1890. I'll slow the progression of the time down, which is funny because it will change my earning tables just to match. The only thing it will physically change will be it will allow the stuff to unlock slower, which means I'll have more time with the stuff I do have. You know, so it gives you a little bit more time to come up with better routes before you're, you know, getting bullet trains and all kinds of crazy things. Ukraine's running this, and it's barely running production. since I have so much more money, we can look into manage the vehicles, select both of them, prepare a replacement. The generic Steam is from a mod. I do this. That generic Steam going to be better than the one I currently am working with. Yeah, by a big margin. You can also intentionally lock what trains you unlock based off of like where you are in the world. So like you can lock yourself to Asia, you can lock yourself to Europe, to the USA. Okay, they have now both been upgraded. It is. One of the things I do wish is that when you do stuff like that, they have to go back to the station to get the upgrade, but it is what it is. I want to test something. Oh, that's awesome. It takes the train number and puts it on the side. That is a cute little detail. See, I could take lumber, bring it here, bring it there, get tools, but the nearest place that needs tools is like halfway across the world, basically. Yeah, Salt Lake City. That's not happening. This was expensive in and of itself, and I haven't even set up the go-between. No problem. Da, da, da. It's kind of cool. To just gonna make it look neat. Fix the road in a bit. For this. Season. A object and path. Yes, I'm aware. Am I sending anything? It's brick, so I might send stuff there, but not right now. Plus, technically close enough, so what we're gonna do. Road access there. Okay, so we're gonna go here. Does have access to the brick. curve. Realize that we are spending way too much money on this. Aesthetically. Okay. That is quite the conundrum. That is the only way we fix that, so finances to tick up. Then we're gonna take right there. Okay. That is surprisingly well behaved. Also maximum speed, which I was not expecting. Expensive, especially for such a small tunnel, but let's keep us on the right track. Here. Because there is a collision, I'm assuming. Yep. Collision on the roadway. So break from that. Off. You can then here at what needs to be done to maintain that nice 75. Somehow I managed to make it far more expensive, but does work. Hey, now here comes the very expensive question. How does it behave at these crossings? Because I don't like crossings. For now, do that. Now we're gonna come out. Hey, hypothetically, what would it take? Not much, apparently. Like a little bit, but not as much as I thought it was gonna be. Question is, do I want to bother with a grain train? Could bring it right in there. Just wouldn't make any money on the way back. That's pushing 172. This guy's only pushing 121, so that should start overloading spectacularly. So, manage vehicles. Not enough money. That is insane. Thankfully, this will bring in quite a bit of money. Question C, whether it's going to bring in enough. This should be a decent injection of funds. No problem at all. Just made $800,000 on a single cargo load. Only I could get that in real life. Like, yeah, no, just delivered the cargo. How's a cool million sound? A better bridge option. Yeah, that's totally a thing. Good enough. Will do for now. I don't intend to have too many trains on that line. Have to find a good. I'm sorry, you want to put a crossing underground. You, sir, are insane. So, leave that as it is. Here comes the insane part, or the more insane part. Here, build a city route. There, so they're not walking too far to get to their destination. So the whole thing kind of that makes it look impressive. Next thing we'll do is go passenger and add. Start turning a profit. Because no profit means no nothing. terminal's 160, I think. 60 and 160, so they are even. Cargo combo stations up. There we go. Landing for a while. He should be landing soon. Ooh. Off, so that should be a decent chunk of change. Yep. Have train running on it. Definitely gonna have to put a hub there, otherwise it will overload quite quickly. Yeah, drop it off to get me. Boom. Curve in that manner. So, have to do a bit of a cheeky system to do this. How expensive? That's actually cheaper than the bridge. Looks artificial and foolish, but at 2 million, it's outside my financial later edition. Now, since nothing should be build up a head of steam, we will pay to we'll let it slow down there. Number is which side I pulled from, because that would be a problem. No. That brings it down to 35, so we can't use. Willing to work that way. Hey, bring this here. Come on. There we go. Now, best, and I do need to build a better roadway for this. Actually, keep doing a roadway for it. Yes. It. And I'll delete this as everything. It's clear. Go. That looks better. Perfect, but for now, it'll work. Let's let the game run for a bit so we can afford to do some of the crazy things we are planning. Also, of our stuff and no. Sorry, what do you mean too much? Oh, I understand what you mean by too much slope. I'll do this elsewhere. Oh, right. Can't put it there because I'm doing overbridge there. That note. Yes, for now, since you have the overbridge being set up here, but not currently. Actually, not just make it an extension of this station. No. No. Don't do that. That would do bad things. Can do that, however, because at no point will you be moving fast enough for it to be a problem. Out the route we want to build. There. Pushing both of those. Okay. Signals in before the whole thing. Feels like the kind of thing it would do. Go. Whole thing's signaled up. That, and then come here and carefully extract the signal from there. Extract that signal. Good. Yep. Straighten up route. Now we just need to make for passengers, and since we want it to be relatively large, that Little connection point. ALN station. There we go. Red. Make it look nice. Here, do add a bunch of cargo. The reason we're going to do that actually kind of simple. Duplex station, duplex transport. Eventually, we will be pushing cargo via the train to there, so it makes sense to do it in advance. Here. Okay. The double clicky part of it. Better, we're going to do 2 of you. Gotta wait for the autosave to go through. There. And for the most part, they should be more than capable of loading and unloading the entire passenger capacity, but we will find out. So now we need passenger train, and I think we're gonna go for speed. Those are doing 60. Is that where I'm topping out? Like, don't get me wrong. 60 is way more than I'm supposed to have this early on. 37 is supposed to be the normal. Yeah, I don't think we've unlocked the better one, so down to this guy. Actually, if I'm gonna do it, might as well do it right. Yeah, don't have anything remotely close to that level of speed. But what do they want for these cars? Oh, If they weren't so expensive, I'd love to have them. Right now, that is more capacity than this is ever going to need. Also, more speed than this is ever going to need. So, let's check out my steam trains, see if we got anything that looks cool. A saddle tank engine. Okay, it's adorable. It is operating within speed limitations of the cars. Yeah. Wait till we have our crisp 2 million. That should bring us either to 2 million or just below it for it, and bing, by that speed. While we should use multiple, and we'll see how this looks. Wait. Kind of reminds me of Thomas the Tank Engine. Does mean that we have a rate of 51, which is actually really nice. Managed vehicles, we want to pay the extra high maintenance on it, even though it's not going to pay off right away. Ooh. Interesting. Let's go here. Replace. There you go. More people can fit on. Or are already showing up to the train station. I mean, the inner city tram is probably going to be done. I don't think I'm going to have any more passengers using it. Financial degradation. Of course, we got another set of tender engines. They are. They are lovely. They just not really necessary yet. The the inner city tram had people. take a peek. If I take, come here for a play a bit of a dangerous game, but got a little bit of funds to work with, so I should be able to do this safely. There with that's a little silly because I can just take. Hey, Maverick. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing today? I'm doing okay. Going day by day. How we roll. How'd your tests go? That's good. At least you know that you have places you can improve. The one thing I always warn people is never think you know everything. It's the instant you enter a room and say I'm the smartest person in the room is the instant A, you're not. B, if you are, it is a terrible, terrible thing. So, funny enough, I used to do Transport Fever streams all the time. It used to be my go-to, like KSP. However, I had noticed I had my viewership drop off at a point, and like, oh, I have to do something different, which, uh, no, did not have to do something different. I did want to do something different, that's fine, but I didn't have to do something different. I just thought I did. You know, you say that, but the forest I'm working with is like the Black Forest, so like I can still go out here and just be like, I don't even know anything exists. I can be up here and still feel like nothing exists. Signals there, there. Signal there. There. Trust me, I wish there was a whole environmental impact thing. It'd be cool. Probably make the game way too hard, but it would be cool. Well, food train, and we are gonna nice color. And now, like our passenger wagons, see how bad it's gonna be. Right, we don't want to actually bring the food, we want to bring the grain. So we're topping out at 31 miles an hour. That means we need a little bit more careful with it. Here, now, that little over 2 million with a mediocre. Major horsepower, but apparently not enough. That's got good horsepower and 60, so it's still gonna cap out at 31, but at least it'll have something pretty decent at the head. Do a double-headed engine, but I don't know if I really want to go that far with it. I think nice red engine. Make it look nice. We'll even come in here and intentionally vibrant up the engine. Now we just need the money to come in. Way back and you're on your way out, so speed up time. We're gonna have to Is that over soon? Right now we're operating at a fairly different date speed. We're gonna slow it down since we are getting some decent engines coming in here. Do it. Boom. Hey. We do not want pause the date speed because then we won't unlock anything else, but we'll slow it to a fourth of its current speed. Anything else unlocked that would be useful to me? Ooh. Clear story wagons are nice. So for the most part, you do manage the industry. You can do boats, planes. You can level mountains and stuff like that. You can even put down your own industry. I think this is a mod. I'm not entirely sure. But for the most part, the cities grow based off whether you bring them resources. So if people make it to their destinations, you get more residents. Private transport, more residents. You start supplying them with food, more residents, fuel, more residents. And basically, as you get more residents, they want more stuff. And your city will actually kind of try to expand to encompass what you built, because you don't want to build a bakery on the other side of town when you know all the bread comes in on the other side. So all that kind of meshes together, and you'll watch carefully. The city slowly expands compared to what it was. Right now, that is my primary city. Keeling is the one I'm working on expanding, because if you look, it is barely a town. Kind of, sort of, yeah. The difference is you don't get to tell the town diddly. The only thing you do is try to get stuff to it. I'm gonna make a reference here, and I don't know if you're gonna get it. I just realized these are not coupled. Like, the train isn't coupled to that because those are two different types of couplings. Should come out pretty nice. As they would say, it's a splendid engine. Helps if I connect a roadway. Ooh. That's... Please, sir, may I have some money? Because if I don't, I won't be able to actually load the train. Also, what do you mean electric tram tracks are already out? Check the trams, see if some electric trams showed up. Oh, okay. Good. Haha, there we go. Which should also take some the load off that, but back to normal speed and check out the trams. See if we have electric trams. No, we don't. We can electrify everything, but we don't actually have anything to do that with. Look at a car depot. Look it out here. Just because I don't have an intention of using it right now, but it's better have it, not need it, than need it, not have it. Oh, that's funny. First, steam-powered cars. What are you doing? You are at maximum speed. That's kind of depressing. Now I know I can speed up my other engine that's on the line. Especially if I can find it. Oh, the other engine here. But right now, he's already. I don't know. If there aren't, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a mod for it. Because I do know you can get like hyper trains towards the end that are moving quite quickly. I just don't know if you get to the maglev levels of trains. Quick. Haha, I knew I messed up. Need to increase that. Had him around here somewhere. There he is. Hey, little buddy. Bumping your speed. I do that, and then over to that. Cost me 1.5 million, but it is possible. We'll also max out the speed of the engine. But it's moving 19 passengers, which is a lot more than I was anticipating this early. That reminds me, do I have a mail train? Or a mail wagon, as it were. Okay, so the box cars can handle mail. Good to know. Alright. Good night. Didn't even realize how late it was myself. I'm gonna be heading out of here in about 30 minutes too. do find it funny that for some reason Steam does overlay right into the game. Yep, and this is the reason why Steam is gonna beat them out, at least for now. Quantity it can move in the time frame. Steel trains are absolutely phenomenal. Everything else is hemorrhaging money, but it's fine. It's to be expected for now. We will upgrade you. The only reason we're gonna do that is so that we've got nicer engines moving quicker through the system. Pause. Guys. Please. Passengers, take you. Make you that. Afford 3, but we can afford that. Again, absolutely beautiful. Might be setting this rail up as a triple threat or a quad threat so that the high-speed passenger lines can circumvent the slower industrial lines. It does make it quite a bit better. So Bulldog, if you're still around, what's for dinner? Hopefully the cities start picking up. Should max out the entire carriage actually. Check. In very good condition. That does 12. All of these are doing 12. So they're not actually going any faster. No reason to upgrade them then. Like, I could swap them out with trucks. It would be a little bit of a... Right now, the speed's the same. So you wouldn't get much out of it, actually. Does service train station, I think. Even though it is a little ways away, I think I'm gonna start building the cargo sets up. And that would be there. That would, in theory, be just about everything covered. So the other thing we want to do is need a gantry yet. That covers most of it. That one, that one, and that one. And delivery. have almost everything covered, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So. And there we go. The line, or at least we're gonna start. Five of each. Five. Quite a bit. Does bring us down to a mediocre. Maybe, just maybe. Good. Okay. A lot of money. Hi. We're gonna set this to move goods between the two. Come here to that and do either. There we go. There. And while it won't be the fastest, should, in theory, allow for a decent, good transport between. Nope. And they hit their cap quite quickly. Not going as fast as they could, but that's coming down to the cars themselves. Thankfully, we just repaid basically everything we took out to get the train, so it'd be relatively good. Does mean we're gonna cause a little bit of a kerfuffle there, but ooh, Salt Lake is getting a mill. How far away is it from actual Salt Lake? It's not that bad. The problem is I don't see a good way to get any of the needed resources in there. And even though we were supposed to set up Downly, we never did. That will probably be its own little thing. We will definitely be skirting the mountain with a train line. Only because even though the speed's gonna be kind of terrible, it will look nice. Terrible speed. Look nice. Oh right, I am going to have to up this quite severely. Fuel trains. Do me a favor, make some drop-offs. We'll afford stuff. Keelan has a waste facility. Where did that pop up? All the way up there. It makes sense. You don't want the waste near your town, but it is going to be a bit of a pain. Go. Food is the only thing coming in here. We're going to manage north and just give it free range. As these come back, profitable as it is, does need a little bit to get it going. And definitely needs the area to hold the overflow, because it will overflow quite severely. That's odd. There. Separate properly. Could never really do that, because if the train stops there, you just killed the whole section. I just did that because I have no idea why it was stopping the train there in the first place. Oh, this is definitely gonna make level 2. Train alone is dropping. Fund that conversion. Okay. Again, no idea why it's waiting. You stopped. Excuse me? Yeah, no. You are a one-way. You are a one-way. Could be like the fact that that even needs to be set up as a one-way is ever so slightly concerning. Question becomes, is it maxing out station length? I get the feeling the answer is yes. Is a solution, however. Hmm. Okay, not great, but and it's mostly not great because it makes it harder to divert from this turn. that here. Okay, so it does work. Perfect, but it'll do for now. It do a little dip. Crossovers further away. Ooh. Bad. There we go. That's how it's supposed to work. Yes, it is moving food and mail. Not, it's not perfect, but that means it is moving cargo. And that picked up bricks. Stone over here. That. Now, where do I find stone? Right now, looks like I don't. Which is a bit upsetting. I also find it funny that the fisheries are not like on the water. But yeah. Stone. Forever away, that's forever away. That's forever away. Right now, all of these are really far away. Technically not forever away, but not good either. Okay. So that's a no-go on bricks. That's never going to get used unless a quarry opens up. Right there. So there. That is our brick factory. Problem is, it is quite the distance away. Like, I could do this and this. The problem is, there, all the way over there. Insane distances. Technically speaking, the best bring it there. Train would bring it down to Reno, or it would bring it over to here and truck it down in. At which point, a ship would then take it to the fuel refinery and then bring it back. It is not a perfect system. Other option could be making steel. Steel could be a very viable solution because the slag is used to make bricks, and I could just do here, here, here as a shipping thing. Drop that off there, ship the bricks into town, and then bring them up the mountain. Then Either use the steel to make gears or bring it over here and make tools. And the tools are kind of a bit better, honestly. Even if I'm not using them right here, I could use them down there. I can use them. I don't think I use them here. That's gonna pick up tools eventually. So yeah, might have to be careful. I feel like some of those are gonna shut themselves down well before I can use them, but it does exist. Edge vehicles. Duplicate. Clean them up. And move on. Oh look. The thing I just said. That wood there. That'll be tools right in there, and that'll probably be in the next episode. Does feel like that's dried up. I believe these are gonna mostly dry out. I'm gonna have to remove that terminal and just have it go between. Clone. Very high maintenance. This cargo building set. Definitely not what I wanted for that. That, however, is here. Huh. Okay, but I guess rail 2 is just the other side, which is weird. But it does mean I can come in here and mess with the rails in a weird fashion. Doesn't really change anything because there's only one, but hey, looks pretty. Oof. They're flying through. Too bad they can't move faster. Alright, everybody. I guess this is where we're going to end it for today. Hopefully we'll get some more things going on. And get the wooden tools set up. Alright everyone, good night, and take it easy.